We're back, everyone, with the Thought series, and now we return to the 6th issue of Heroes in Crisis. The mystery that is most likely editorially mandated by Dan DiDio to kill off Wally West or do something to make him a horrible person. Because, that makes absolute sense. Piss off your customers. So, when we last left off, it was revealed that the Wally West that we saw die, so to speak, in Heroes in Crisis was actually a different version of him. He's 5 days too old, according to Booster Gold, saying that this is not the real Wally West, this is someone else. And meanwhile, we see another guy dressed up in the similar color of Wally West holding up the flower that Harley Quinn dropped over the bridge. Which is hinting that Wally West might be the killer, especially when issue 9's cover was leaked and showing Wally West sitting in the field with his pre-New 52 wife and his pre-New 52 kids in ways that make no sense. That makes me agitated beyond belief. So yeah, everyone was in furious mode because of the fact that, are they really going there? Are they really going to make Wally West the symbol of hope? Yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. Of the DC Rebirth Initiative, the person that Jeff Johns fought tooth and nail to get back, but since he's no longer in Chief Creative Officer position, Dan DiDio's gonna be like, screw this plan, let's kill him off. And sabotage everything about the Rebirth Initiative. Because he doesn't like this character. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, we go to issue 6, and everyone's ecstatic to know, where are we going to go with this? Nope, it's not that. You see, it was revealed in a preview that this issue was not going to be the continuation of what was going on now. Instead, we were going to go back a chapter, but go back before the shooting and show the perspective of Harley Quinn and several other characters. Which begs the question, I know this might be a little crazy, but why don't we just have the prelude chapters be at the beginning of the story, and then it would suddenly, there's a mystery and intrigue, there's a massacre, we don't know who did it, and then we get to this whole investigation storyline. Like, yeah, originally this issue series was supposed to last 6 issues. However, it was expanded up to 9, which obviously means that these were the 3 extra issues that were added. The backstory, you see, we already got the first issue that featured the prelude that takes place in Booster Gold's perspective. Now we get the second one that takes place in Harley Quinn's perspective. The third one is most likely going to be the killer's perspective. I.e., they're hinting that Wally West is the one that did it. In the issue 8 cover. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, the variant cover this time is the somehow impossible, yet somehow they got it, loss of Barry Allen, a.k.a. the day when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened and Barry Allen was killed in the fight. I don't know where they got this stuff. So, I know it's a variant cover, and I'm probably thinking too much into this, but seriously, I'm just wondering, like, should the variant covers and the cover be descriptive of what is to come, not just throw horrible moments that happen in the DC Universe's history in order to incentivize us, and then not going to even bring these kind of incidents up? Like, we don't see Jason Todd. He said he didn't want to go to Sanctuary. So why do you have the murder of his death at the hands of the Joker, even though he's not in the issue talking about his experience of being killed and coming back from the dead? Also, yes, I got a haircut, but I hadn't been on video for a while, so you didn't see the state I was in. So we get to starting off with Clayman's beautiful artwork showcasing the three-row panels of the heroes. Gennard, that famous Teen Titan character, that one of those Teen Titan characters from the Teen Titans cartoon show. The caveman that was best friends with Cole, the girl who could turn into a crystal. Yeah, imagine kids who grew up watching the Teen Titans are going to be vastly angered to realize that Gennard's killed viciously in Heroes in Crisis. DC Comics. We like to ruin children's memories. So, yeah. And then we also get Wally West talking, and then we get Harley Quinn talking. And then this gets a little weird. You see, from what the confessions, from what I've seen throughout the series so far, is that the confessions were just that. People confessing their pain, their conscience, and whatnot, what they're going through. But in this issue, it seems like the confessions were asking them something. Because Gnark opens up saying this. What it mean? Save? And Wally West says, I don't like to talk about that. And Harley Quinn then asks, why are you asking? What's it to you how many I saved? Why I gotta save anyone? And Gnark then asks, who is saved? Gnark not know. And Wally says, Barry and I were from the Midwest. You don't. Well, if I can't call it bragging, that's almost the same as just bragging. Deep. And you don't. And then Harley then asks, how many people have you saved? Interesting question. Yes, Harley Quinn. AI computer that has no sentient logic enough to move around. Please tell me your rebuttal. And then Gnark just smiles and says, Gnark not know many things. And Wally then leans closer. Let's just say it wasn't enough. Whatever the number is, it should have been higher. There were more, and I didn't, and that's what matters. Harley Quinn then just says this. I bet you think this is saving. Oh, this psychological pitter-patter. Well, let me say one shrink to another. You're not doing no good. You're not doing no one no good. Well, she's right on that, sadly. However, Sanctuary would be shot up moments later in this issue. So I can say they failed miserably. In fact, isn't there one patient that's been there for 6 months? So, yeah, Gnark goes into his backstory as he's in the simulation room, enjoying his old days when it was a much simpler time, when there was mammoths and all this other stuff. And he's then start. I didn't read the whole thing. It was like, oh god, are we gonna get to philosophical stuff about nature and how life was much simpler for him back then? Because I'm greatly confused. Anyway, so Gnark goes ahead and talks about how pretty the life was back then, and while resting on a sleeping or dead mammoth. Then we cut to the moment in DC Rebirth, the famous moment to be precise, Wally West being saved by Barry Allen. They're hugging and rejoicing. However, then the dialogue changes. Barry says this, you here, finally, Wally, do you know what this means? This is the return of hope. And Wally then says, I know, it's, wow, but Barry, where's my family? Yeah, they're altering, okay, look, I can get that they're saying that this is him in the simulation, what he was thinking at the time. But the way they keep saying that Wally is the symbol of hope for the DC universe, it's kind of coming off as Dan DiDio just saying, fuck you. You're not the symbol of hope. I'm the symbol of hope. I will bring the despair. I will bring the darkness. And you, Wally, will live in infamy. Because I, Dan DiDio, say so. And no one can stop me. I will ruin this company. Then we cut to Harley Quinn freaking out. Oh, by the way, remember how I mentioned Clayman's beautiful artwork? Yeah, then it switches to another artist. If I'm correct, this is artist Gerads. I don't know his first name, so don't ask. And the color is different. But, yeah, the artwork is different. It's okay for me. There's just a moment in this comic that, yeah, there's a thing that makes me say, did anyone not look at that and say, redraw that part again? There's no way we should write this, draw it, and make her face look like that. So, Harley Quinn, after being revealed that she wasn't supposed to be at Sanctuary, breaking in and somehow getting her way through. Yeah, here's the thing that bugged me. If this place is so secretive, how did Harley know? Like, did she plant a tracking device on, her girlfriend, Poison Ivy? Or did, like, Harley go ahead and just sneak aboard the transport that took her there? Because she can't fly, and therefore there would have to be a transport that took her, because I'm pretty sure Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are not going to pay by the hour of transporting them themselves with the Batjet or their flying abilities. But anyways, Harley Quinn is screaming at, "I'm bored! 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 Bored!" In fact, I'm surprised she didn't try echoing it and failing miserably. Meanwhile, Poison Ivy goes ahead and expresses that it's not her problem that she's bored and reminds her that Superman are going to kick her out. And Harley Quinn just says, "At least I won't get bored then." Then we get back to Gennard, how he's beating the hell out of a saber-tooth creature. And once again, how he talked about how his past life, how it was short, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and all that. And violence and death. Then we get to Wally, and this is when it starts aggravating me about the whole Wally is hope, even though that contradicts the DC Rebirth Initiative, that while Wally West is part of the Hope Initiative, the Justice Society is the key component. And this is what happens. Superman hugs him, saying, "Wally West, the Flash, you're back. I like to point out your name and also reveal your secret identity." Superman! Complete moron! Yeah, and okay, so... And then we cut to Wally West being hugged by Nightwing, who is not in the best of states right now, last I checked. How he got shot in the head, and it's kind of no longer being Nightwing for a while. So Nightwing says, "Do you know what this means?" And Donna Troy hugs him, say, "You're what we've been missing. You're what everyone's been missing all these years." And Roy just says, "Your hope." And then Wally just goes back into the empty virtual reality room and just says, but... And then we cut to that particular scene. We see the Joker looking way uglier than usual due to the artwork, saying, "What is small, red, and whispers? A horse's radish." And someone in the background tells her to hit him. And then she punches Joker in the face so hard that blood comes out of his mouth and nose. There's that moment where her face is all messed up, and I'm just left like, what's wrong with her face? In fact, let me quote a famous person who said this best. "Oh my God, what's wrong with your face?" And yeah, I was just wondering, this particular page makes Harley Quinn's face look like she's kind of going crazy in facial design, more so. But it was that moment where she punches the Joker that just was like, how did no one tell them to redraw that part? So Poison Ivy says, "Don't you feel better?" And Harley Quinn looks like she's crying and kind of going crazy, especially after realizing that this is the guy that drove her to this life, met her into Poison Ivy, and abused her in ways that will probably never be shown unless you want to go back to the New 52 comics. So then Gennard once again talks about his past and philosophical talk, and yeah. And then we get back to the Titans group. We see the simulation continuing for Wally. And Wally explains that they were so excited, everyone. And Nightwing calls out, "All right, Titans, go! Titans, go!" Wait, why do I get the feeling we used to say that in a very different show that had a very cartoonish style yet anime-ish? And then Dan DiDio, I have to believe he did this. They decide to recreate the famous scene of the Teen Titans, new Teen Titans book, but Wally doesn't join them in the charge. That famous charge they do where the villain has his hands out and he's freaking like, oh dear. And they're charging, except they're the adult versions and not the teenagers they used to be. But Wally doesn't join them, and I'm pretty certain, yeah. And then Wally then says, a whole universe. Like, he says this, they were so excited, everyone, a whole universe, even me. Like, we were reborn. But how can you be reborn without... How does it matter without... How are you supposed to be Hope without Linda, Jay, and Iris? And I'm just like, okay. Dan, are you trying to make everyone depressed again? So anyways, yeah, Harley and, so Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn have a moment, and yeah, and basically they share this tender moment of sadness and pain, but like trying to show that, yeah, and basically how she feels like something's just missing, and they're sharing this moment, and it's sweet, and yada yada yada. Then we get back to Gnark and smashing a caveman's head in. Yeah. So he says this, in old days, death always there, so Gnark worthy about death. New days, life always there, so now Gnark worthy about life. How dare I am not surrounded by death, Gnark! How dare I am surrounded by life! And joy. Okay, the more I keep reading this, the more I kept thinking this has to be executive ordered. Why are they trying to make the heroes kind of not like life? Anyways, let's go back to Wally. Oh god. They were all good. Everyone was happy, celebrating. Everyone was just whole. And what was I? Without my wife, without my kids. I knew, even if I didn't know, I kind of knew. Everyone was just like they were supposed to be. They became themselves again, all smiles, and I was alone. Wally, you're not alone. Who was talking to him? Yeah, we don't get that answer. So then we cut to the Joker going ahead and being crazy in the field, and then gets stabbed to death by a bunch of vines. I always knew plant life would overtake our way of life. You just killed the Joker, so we'll at least enjoy a couple of moments of peace before you take over the whole world. Harley Quinn laughs, loving every moment of it, and how she's Poison Ivy's doing it again and again, and she's just and Harley Quinn's laughing. And then she says, Sanctuary, give us another one, but like even more obnoxious. And then we see the Joker holding a knife to his teeth. Yes. And then he says, what is the most uncomfortable vegetable? Spin! Ouch! And then Gnark goes ahead and finishes his big talk, saying this. Gnark, no. Gnark, intellectualized problem to avoid it. Hobbies. Roastery, old dead men arguing, and Gnark not dead. Gnark misses old days, misses animals and fighting, and blood on tongue, misses grass and sky, but they're not good or bad. Gennard could see the stars, infinite, glorious, incomprehensible, conquering stars. But Gennard could not read kits. No, not good or bad. Just gone. Sanctuary? Yes, Gennard? Gennard is done. Gennard ready to go home. Emergency! Emergency! Please proceed to the nearest exit. Emergency! Emergency! Please proceed to the nearest exit. Emergency! Emergency! Please proceed to the nearest exit. Ever see Wally West going through this gigantic glow where he just says, wait, slow down. And then we cut to Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy with Harley saying, sitting on a bunch of dead Joker corpses in the night sky, saying, we need wine. Emergency! Emergency! Please proceed to the nearest exit. Emergency! Emergency! Please proceed to the nearest exit. Poison Ivy gets up and says, I should probably go. And Harley says, should I go? And she says, no, it's just a drill or something. I don't want you to get in trouble. Stay here in the chamber. It'll be easier. It's easier. I'll be back. If it's more than a few minutes, maybe come outside. Harley and Poison Ivy exchange that they love each other, and Poison Ivy proclaims that she'll be back in a sec. Yeah, that's not going to end well. Then we cut to more confusion. Gennard is dying, obviously. He's been stabbed, shot, or whatever. He's bleeding profusely. Gennard's saying how he's scared, but he's trying not to be scared. However, we see him holding Wally West in the black suit. What? Yeah, I'm generally confused by this part. Why is Wally West in there wearing a black suit? And Gennard thinks he's overthinking what he's thinking and whatnot. And then we cut to Wally West holding Roy Harper's body. However, whereas in the first back prelude issue, we go ahead and cut to Wally and Roy inside the sanctuary house, where Wally repeats this line, breaking down in tears. Roy, why? Why did it? The kids, I didn't want to be alone. And now this is the part where you would expect that his head gets smashed by Harley Quinn, scrambling his brains. No, instead, Wally is blasted apart by Booster Gold. He, after killing Wally, says, I didn't know you were here. And then we get a repeat of that scene from the first back prelude comic, but this time it's Booster being the killer and Harley looking scared when she says, I'm not supposed to be here. Booster says, cool. Where are you supposed to be? Harley Quinn, looking at him very scared-like, says this, I'm supposed to be somewhere fun. Then we get back to the confessionals drawn and created by Clayman, where we get Commander Steel talking, Blue Jay talking, Solstice talking, Kid Devil talking, Hotspot, Nemesis, Arsenal, Gunfire, Tattooed Man, all talking about the subject when it comes to saving lives. And they all give vastly different viewpoints. Some do a number count as if they're boasting, and some just say pessimistic viewpoints. And the issue is called Who is Saved? Part 6, Heroes in Crisis. Yeah, so this was a very cluster-filled issue. However, there is something I came to realize when I was reading this. We never see Harley Quinn and Booster Gold get out of their chambers in their respective solo prelude issues. Have you noticed that we see them out there, but we never see them get out of there? Like, they're hinting that the AI might be malfunctioning, and therefore messing with the virtual reality and making this whole thing an elaborate hoax, and they never really left, even though they think they did. While that would kind of make sense at times, it also renders this entire issue completely pointless. So, but the question should be if they go with the AI route instead of the Wally West route, or the well, they could still tie in Dr. Manhattan and Wally West's culprit things, in my opinion. Like the AI try to twist the narrative and to make Wally more crazy with these reminders that he's Hope, but Wally has no control over it. Though that doesn't explain the whole clone of him that's 5 days too old. But then there's also the possibility that Dr. Manhattan, and I'm still saying it's probably him because this takes place months before Doomsday Clock, and he was doing stuff before Doomsday Clock, where Dr. Manhattan probably warped the AI's state and turned it into what in Halo it goes into a state of rampancy and basically goes crazy like Cortana did in Halo 5. Except that made no sense, and I'm still questioning certain plot holes and expositions that were so badly needed. But that's a completely different topic, and I will not get into that. So, yeah, we're left with more questions than answers. We keep getting the repeats of Wally West, and now we're like, okay, so let's say the AI did do it, that the AI is manipulating certain key events and tricking people into killing each other in a massacre, and it will kill the last person who tries to do it. Why would it reveal itself? Why would it do this? Why would it do that? Why would it do a lot of things? Why would it email Lois Lane of all people? Okay, actually, I could get that. Superman was there, so he probably mentioned her. So why would he know how to email her? Did Lois Lane attend to the sanctuary? Like, she probably is aware of his existence. Like, she never seems surprised that sanctuary exists. It's more like a, wait, what did you say in terms of there was a sanctuary? Yeah, there was no sanctuary. Okay, I'm gonna have to reveal that now. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just left with confusion, and the artwork for this issue was at times good. There was some neat visuals, but at times there was like, I couldn't help myself. So, yeah. Heroes in Crisis has 3 more issues to go. Hopefully they don't do Wally West being the killer, because I will be pissed off at that. Like, Dan DiDio already pissed off enough fans when he said Nightwing and Barbara Gordon were never going to get together. And while I don't really like that relationship, like, I like it, but at the same time, I find it easier to do than Starfire and Nightwing, because Barbara Gordon and Nightwing know each other from their days being sidekicks of Batman. So that makes it much easier in my mind, instead of a Tamaranian princess from outer space that's part of a royal family with a normal human being that fights crime in a black and blue suit, at one point black and red. But yeah, when Dan DiDio told someone that, yeah, keep hoping it's never going to happen. You know, telling your customer who says he's buying all your books because he wants them to get together, and you just flat out told him it's never going to happen, so you have no reason to buy any of our books. That's how business does. That's how business works, right? No? Jeff Johns, please tell us you have the ability to retcon this event. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, it's being very curious of how they're going to go about this. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the next 3 issues. Like, apparently they're going to show that the killer's revealed in issue 7, go into the backstory of what happened that led to issue 8, of what drove the killer to do this, and issue 9 was going to be the final resolution of everything, and probably tie everything together, especially with Doomsday Clock still working on. So yeah, Heroes in Crisis issue number 6, Who is Saved? These were my thoughts on it. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.